extremely competitive game, an extremely competitive series. Just what was this like battling, one last time this year with your brothers there in that locker room?
It was fun. It's what you live for. It's what you work all summer for. It's what you try to build habits for all season. Moments in games like tonight, it doesn't get much better.
What was your view on the foul late that kind of decided it?
I shouldn't have fouled him. We talk about it all year, the little things that go into winning games and being disciplined, and it sucks. Obviously, if I had the moment back, I wouldn't have fouled him and just let him make or miss the shot. But yeah, basketball, you win some, you lose some, you make mistakes.
Have you seen the replay?
No, I can't look at it. But they looked at it, and I assume I fouled them if they looked at it and still didn't overturn it.
When you say you can't look at it, what do you mean?
I don't want to look at it.
Do you think that'll be permanent, and you just don't want to look at it ever, or?
I just won't look at it. I fouled them, clearly, because they reviewed it, and I fouled them, so there's no need to look at it.
Shai, coming off of last game where you got so many good looks, they didn't go down. Tonight, they did for you more. I mean, how did it, I guess, operate for you guys to just continue trusting what you had put together last game, knowing that if you stuck with it, you'd get different results to give yourself a chance on the road?
Yeah, it's basketball. You make some, you miss some. You make the right play, the wrong play. But as long as you have the right intentions and you're doing the right things out there on the floor, good things more often than not will happen to you and happen for your team. And it's been like that for us, and that's why we had the year we've had. That didn't go our way sometimes throughout the series, but that's what it's about, getting better from those opportunities.
Could have been the game-winning bucket for you guys as a lob to Chet from you. Obviously, you guys all season long have worked on some of these things and rhythm plays. What was it like, getting to do that here tonight? And it seemed like you guys were able to find Chet over the top quite a bit.
Yeah, it definitely opened things up for us tonight. Kind of Chet being in that dunker, making plays at the rim. Obviously, one of his many gifts, but we were definitely able to exploit that tonight.
So just knowing all it took tonight just to get to that point where the foul, the lob, everything, just what does it feel like knowing that the season ended on free throws?
Yeah, it sucks. You wish you could take the moment back, but it's not the way life works. You can't. You just have to learn from it, and I will definitely learn from it.
For you personally, just what do you feel you proved maybe to yourself in this series?
Nothing. My goal was to win the series, didn't win the series, and that's that pretty much.
Is it hard for you at this point to take a step back and think about how bright the future still does look, or how do you kind of view what this season means for the long term?
Yeah, we can feel it. We definitely took a step in the right direction this year, to say the least. Now this moment stings. You don't ever want to lose, but there are definitely some good things that come out of it. And moments like this is what makes the champions. Guys get better.
Wasn't the most shots you've taken in a game this series, but did you come into this game with empty the clip mindset?
Not at all. I just came into the game trying to play my game, play the right way, and play aggressive.
Total points in this series, despite the series loss, was 636. Have any solace to knowing that y'all were right there in the series?
Say again, sorry?
The total points in the series was 636 through all six games.
Okay.
So does it have any solace knowing that you guys were right there, despite losing 4-2?
Nah, not really. Still stinks.
Shai, you were a young guy in your first year, rookie season with the Clippers. You played a lot of minutes. You have two guys in Kaysen and Chet who play a lot of minutes for you in this series. Can you just talk me through, evaluate how you think they did?
Amazing. They've been good all year. They haven't felt like rookies with their play on the court. Both those guys are so poised, so mature, and obviously have done tremendous things for our group. We took a big leap this year, and those two have a big hand in it.
seemed to be Mark's opinion that this series was maybe lost like middle of the series offensively when you guys kind of struggled to solve their defensive scheme. What do you think you and this group kind of learned through those struggles offensively?
Yeah, I guess how to like course correct. And like the best teams are able to like figure out the issue and fix the problem at a really fast time, and that's what allows you to ultimately win series and win games, whether it be in quarters or in games in a series. You see it all over the league. Like you just saw it with Denver, their ability to course correct and kind of get the car back on the road. But it's a learning experience for all of us. This is all of our first time being in a series together. So we'll all learn from the experience and get better.
Shai, what was that feeling like just as you see the last shot and miss and just kind of walking off the floor?
It sucked. And the way it ended, it kind of solely being my fault with the three. It sucks. My teammates did so much throughout the night to get us in the position that we were with that last position. And little details kind of nipped me in the butt, but I'll learn from it.
Shai, you seem like such a highly motivated person. Does this series add any more motivation to you?
Absolutely. I've always found like the most motivation when I lose. You learn the most when you lose. So yeah, for sure. We lost 4 out of 6 games. I don't know if we've done that all season. Didn't feel good, but yeah, I'm definitely motivated. We'll learn from the experience for sure.
Say the lob to Chet with 20 seconds left. I imagine that'll probably get swept under the rug. History's ours now. But when it happened, like, what was going through your head in that moment, in that sequence?
Get a stop. That was it. Get a stop. Whatever it takes.
Did it feel like that was like a heavy blow to the game, to the game's just flow?
You fouling?
No, the lob. Just him finishing the lob, him catching it with one hand, just everything in that moment.
Yeah, it felt good, but I was so like on to the next, like just get a stop. I didn't really get to soak it up, but big time catch and finish by Chet for sure.
The last one, go ahead. This is the last one for Shai.
Felt like every shot was extra heavy down the stretch. Did it feel like that for you guys out there, or were you just have that mindset of shot goes in, get a stop?
Yeah. When you're in the moment, it doesn't feel as heavy. You're on to the next thing to try to win the next possession and ultimately win the game. But yeah, things are obviously heightened in games like this.
Thank you, Shai.
Better team over the course of the series. Tonight, I thought, it could have gone either way, obviously. We were right there and outplayed them for much of the 48, made a lot of progress, but obviously they were 1 point better. So, but again, congrats to Dallas, all due respect to them.
Offense that you guys had talked about coming out of Game 5 seemed to get rewarded more with shot making for most of this game. Just how did you feel about that aspect coming through for you guys and giving yourselves a chance here in a really tough environment on the road?
Yeah, I know I sounded crazy after Game 5 because we had 92 points and I was very optimistic about our attacks, but that's what I was talking about. I thought our attacks in Game 5 were good. We obviously didn't complete the plays that we did tonight. I thought our attacks again tonight were good. We forced them to zone us. We forced them kind of to plan B. And so we put a lot of pressure on them with our offense tonight and made a lot of progress there.
Mark, the foul on Shai, just what did you make of the ruling at the end?
I don't have as good of a replay as there was on TV. So, I just, he got ball, and then obviously got arm as well. I thought he might have gotten the ball first. And just in that situation, even without leaving myself a timeout, I thought any chance that we could take points off the board and reverse that call would be worth the risk. So that's why I went and got it.
You went double big late, kind of with the season on the line. I guess what motivated you to do that?
Trying to help out on the glass specifically. I just thought even not just on the glass, they were finding the bigs on some of the dump downs and just trying to get more like cumulative size on the floor. And then at the end of the game, the defenses tighten up anyways. And so offensively, I knew we'd be able to get some decent looks regardless of lineup. So it was kind of a defense and physicality decision.
I know that it's kind of too early to take 2 steps back and look at that, as you look towards the future, but do you feel like that, is something that maybe the roster kind of needs beef?
No, I'm not going to make commentary on the roster. I mean, clearly our roster was good enough this year to win a lot of games and be the 1 seed in a really tough conference. And we had everything we needed. Obviously tonight and in this series they were better, but I wouldn't look at that as an indictment on anything other than it's painful. Obviously, we thought we had the chance to accomplish something special, but we can turn this pain into growth and use this as an investment as we continue to move forward.
Are you just satisfied with the way you guys force, players like Derrick Jones and PJ Washington to just beat you over the course of the series?
Yeah, I think, that's why they're here, is they have a good team. They have players that put a lot of pressure on you. We have respect for those players, obviously, but we just thought in the series, forcing Doncic and Irving into crowds and forcing other guys to have to make plays was the best course. And I thought we executed that. I thought defensively we played a series that was worthy of winning it. I thought in games 2 through 4, offensively, that's where we struggled, but I thought the team did a really good job. I mean, you have to grow inside these series, because the other team is, stress testing you and vice versa. And I thought our guys did a really, really good job within the series of making the necessary adjustments to how we needed to attack, and obviously made progress on that end of the floor in games 5 and 6, but it just wasn't enough.
Mark, Shai was tremendous all night. Obviously, the lasting moment kind of ending in a cruel way with that foul, but how do you just kind of put his night in perspective and what he did for you guys this series?
Yeah, I mean, I thought he's a big-time player that hasn't gotten to prove that on this stage yet, and I thought that was loud and clear over the course of the postseason. And then tonight, I thought he played very well. Obviously got to his spots. I thought the pace of the offense really helped him out, helped the whole team out. He made big shots. The 3 he hit to cut into the lead late was a big-time shot. And found his teammates again. I mentioned that the last time we were in this room at the end of game 4. He found guys and they hit. Tonight he trusted those plays throughout the night. So obviously nothing but positive things to say.
Sorry. Even in the loss, were you impressed by how you guys were able to sort of sustain throughout their repeated runs and crowd got into it and everything like that?
Yeah, I mean, we've done that all year. This is kind of, you don't accomplish, what we accomplished. I mean, we didn't accomplish everything, obviously, but you don't accomplish what we accomplished without tremendous resilience and the ability to throw punches with our talent and with the way we play, and then take punches. And tonight we had to take a lot of punches, and we did, and gave ourselves. I mean, we took a lead into the last 20 seconds of that game.
You mentioned taking points off the board with that challenge. How close were you to not challenging it, considering if it's not overturned, you only have 2.5 seconds left to go the full length of the court?
Yeah, I mean, if it was like a clear as day foul, I obviously wouldn't have challenged it and held the timeout. But I just think, again, in that situation even if you advance the ball with 2.5 seconds at a deficit, your chances of scoring are very low. And so given that probability and then the probability of the challenge in that situation, protecting a lead, I thought it was too tempting not to get. If there was any chance that we could have wiped that off, I thought it was worth it.
Chet and Lou both have 5 fouls. Just continuing to trust them. What did you think about the way, despite the loss, the way that they were able to not pick up their 6th foul?
Yeah, I mean, they continue to compete. We've done that all year. These guys understand the philosophy there. They understand they have to keep competing. I thought those guys did. We were able to squeeze all the minutes out of the game for those guys, and they played well when they were out there.
You mentioned kind of maybe losing this series offensively in kind of the middle part, but learning through it. What do you feel like are the offensive lessons that you learned in this series?
It's just like different attacks, and there's only so many ways you can get played. There's not a million ways that you can get played. There's a limited number of them, and we've seen them all this year. And as time goes on, you get more and more comfortable attacking them. And obviously in a playoff series, they all get thrown at you. You know, whatever vulnerabilities you have, the other team's going to try to expose. And we tried to do that to Dallas and New Orleans. They try to do it to us. And that's how you learn, you know, as a team. It's painful, obviously, to lose a series. But that's how you learn as a team, is you go through these things, and you've seen it now. You know, we go back, we start to develop those attacks. The players have a better understanding. We, as a coaching staff, have a better understanding. And then as you see them more and more, you solve the problems quicker. And I think if you look at the teams that have had long runs of success and a lot of continuity, you know, they're really hard to trick, you know, and that's a process, and we have to, you know, embark on that process.
I know it's a minor thing in hindsight, but what went into the changing up Shai's substitution pattern there in that first?
Just trying to maximize his minutes. They had kind of loaded the start of the second quarter. They actually changed tonight too, so they didn't do what we were anticipating. But they had put Doncic and Irving in to start the second with a pretty potent lineup. And you know, just the idea of getting him out there during that time so we can continue to have a guy that can really move the scoreboard. That was the idea.
Mark, you mentioned lessons. Just as far as this team, you've been with all of them through 82 games.
You like the first play?
Well, did you design the one with Doug getting the tap out?
Yeah.
That was
a trick play.
very good.
Yeah, thanks.
But the whole season you threw me off. 82 games, seeing these guys in a different context, did you learn anything about them being in these high leverage environments, like games like this?
I mean, we learned a ton about our team. You know, it sucks losing, you know, the last game of the season. And for me personally, coaching this team, I've said all year, has been a total pleasure. And it's really sad for that to finish for me. You know, I love coaching this team. I'd love nothing more than just to go to practice tomorrow with them. They're an absolute pleasure. But what was your question?
Just about what you learned about the roster.
Sorry, I had to get that in there.
I think it's painful right now, but if you zoom out and you just look at like year over year progress from the beginning of the season till now, progress from the beginning of the playoffs till now. You know, we're just a more seasoned, more matured, more connected, better, tougher, smarter. You know, we're everything, you know, through the course of the season. We talk a lot about growing through experiences. I thought we did that, you know, to the highest degree. And it yielded, obviously, a very successful season, despite not, you know, having a little more success in winning this series.
Despite losing the series 4-2, total points was 636. Hearing that, does like give you any solace that you guys are just like right there?
Yeah, I mean, I thought, you know, when I credit Dallas and I say, you know, they were the better team in the series, that was marginal. You know, I didn't think that was domination by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm tipping my hat to them, and they deserve it. But yeah, we were right there. And, you know, I think, again, that type of, that yields a lot of pain when you go through that and you're that close. But we have to, you know, turn that into, you got to reinvest that into improvement, you know, individually, collectively. And that's, if you look at any great team, any great player, that's what happens over time. You know, they stumble in these situations. It's very painful, but they learn, they reevaluate, they grow, and they get stronger through these experiences. And that's our challenge now.
Mark, I'm just
Last
curious,
one for Coach.
with such a young team, how do you think they're handling this kind of, you know, defeat and knowing the season's over at this point?
Yeah, I think the age of the team is so tangible, you know, so people drive to that a lot, but they're handling it like any team would. I mean, this is an ambitious team, and it's a competitive team, and it's a connected team, regardless of age. You know, this team has qualities of great teams. And one of those qualities is, you know, a lot of pain when you lose. So that's a locker room that's feeling it right now, you know, as it should be, because we laid it all out there in the series and in the game tonight. But that has nothing to do with age. That's just, these guys are competitors, and they've competed together all year. They competed together tonight.